Hi, my name is Mallory Getz, and I'm going to be walking you through the rehab plan for a medial meniscus injury. In this specific rehab, we're going to do the rehab for a total meniscectomy, meaning that they took the meniscus out instead of just repaired it. So this rehab plan will take about a month depending on the patient and the physical therapist. There's 4 different phases within the plan, and each take about a week depending on the patient and of course your physical therapist. And each phase has a couple different goals that you want to reach to be able to get back to full mobility by the end of the rehab. This rehab is a little bit interesting, and it's different than other rehab plans because there are actually no precautions that you really need to take about your knee, because since the meniscus was taken fully out, we don't need to worry about injuring it again. And so there really aren't any precautions. So of course you don't want to go past your pain tolerance or aggravate the knee more, but when you're doing these exercises, you don't need to worry about injuring your meniscus even further since it was taken out. Each phase has the same modalities that I'll talk about in a little bit, and it kind of changes depending on your physical therapist and of course athletic trainer. And each, like I said, each phase has different goals that you reach, and then each exercise that I'll walk you through, you want to do each day, and depending on the phase, depends on how many times a day you do it. And the exercises normally take about anywhere from 10 to 30 minutes for a total set of the rehab exercises each day. So for all 4 of these phases, there are the same 4 different modalities, and it kind of depends on your physical therapist, how often you'll do these, and of course on your pain tolerance and how well you're progressing through the pain and just the rehab plan in general. So the 4 modalities are of course ice, the TENS unit, friction massage, and ultrasound. In phase 1, the 2 main goals are we want to maximize range of motion, and we want to increase weight-bearing capabilities. So the exercises that we do during this phase are pretty easy. They're mostly just stretching because, like I said, we want to increase weight-bearing and range of motion. So the first exercise we're going to have our patient do is full range of motion. So what we're going to have him do is, if this is his injured knee, we're just going to have him bring it up and flex it and bring it down to his pain and comfort level. So if he can't go all the way up, he doesn't have to, just as far as he can with his pain tolerance. So you're good. So you're just going to need to do that for 5 minutes. The next exercise for this phase is just weight bearing. So your patient will be on crutches, so you're just going to want them to put as much weight on it as they can to their pain tolerance for as long as they can to increase their weight bearing capabilities. Okay, the next exercise you're going to have your patient do is just a simple hamstring stretch. So they'll sit on their butt like this with their legs extended and then reach forward to their toes as far as they can. This is just to stretch out their hamstrings, so when we start doing more exercises, they're not as tight from being not used as much as they normally would. For phase 2, which is 1 to 2 weeks out of surgery, our 4 biggest goals are to control pain and swelling, decrease knee stiffness, increase range of motion, and then get to full load walking so your patient doesn't need to use crutches while they're away. Okay, so for this phase, we're going to do the range of motion exercise just like our previous one, so just repeat that for like 5 minutes a day. So for the next exercise of phase 2, what you're going to have your patient do is stand with both feet on the ground, and they're just going to go up on their tippy toes with both feet on the, so these are calf raises, and you're going to have them do, you can go down. So just go up and down, that's 1. Yep. So you're going to have them do this 15 times, or as much as they can tolerate. For the next exercise, you're just going to have your patient do just a normal quad stretch. So they're going to bring their foot up, whatever knee is injured, to their butt, and hold it there, for as long as they can. If they need to, they can grab onto something to balance, but this is just to stretch out their quadricep. So our next exercise for phase 2 is stationary bike. We don't have one here, but you would have your patient get on it with no resistance, and for about 10 to 15 minutes a day. For the next exercise of phase 2, you have your patient do a lateral shuffle. You would usually have them do that in a basketball court, up and down the length of the court, but you can just go ahead and show them what a lateral shuffle looks like. Yep, so they want to get as low as they can. They might not get this low because their knee is of course injured, but you want them to do that as far down the court as they can 3 times up. Okay, for phase 3 of the rehab plan, it's 2 to 3 weeks out of surgery, and the main 2 goals for this are to prevent knee stiffness and to regain muscle back in the affected limb. So in the phase 3, we're still doing the range of motion exercises just like demonstrated before for the same amount of times a day and for as long as previous. So in this phase, we're still repeating the quadricep stretching, just bringing that knee up to your butt and holding it there. In this phase, we're still still doing the double leg calf raises like demonstrated last time. Just go up on your tiptoes 15 times. So for our next exercise, this is a hamstring exercise, and what you're going to do is you're going to wrap a resistance band around the affected leg, or the foot of the affected leg, and then attach the resistance band to the other foot, and you're going to have your patient bring up the affected leg, and it's going to stretch the resistance band just as far as they can go, and you're just going to have them repeat that. Alright, so our next exercise is a mini squat, so if you can turn sideways. And instead of going to a full 90, you're going to go to about 45 degrees, and just take it slow, And if your patient needs to, they can hold onto a chair in front of them, and just, and do that repeatedly. Okay, so our next exercise for this phase is you're just going to have, it's kind of like the quadricep stretch, where you're just going to have your patient bring their knee up to their foot up to their knee, and just balance there as long as they can without holding on to anything. And if they start to fall, that's okay, they just need to start over. Alright, so we're on to our fourth and final phase, and this phase is about 3 to 4 weeks out of surgery. Our two biggest goals here are to get the affected limb back to 80% of the strength of the contralateral limb, and regain full range of motion with no pain, be full weight bearing with no pain, and start sport-specific activities. Okay, for phase 4, again, we're going to do the stationary bike, and this time we're going to add even more resistance and have them do it for about 15 minutes at their own pace. The next exercise we're going to do is full squats. So instead of doing the mini squats that are just 45 degrees, we're going to have our patient go down to a full 90 degrees. Just like that. For our next exercise, we're going to have your patient stand on a bossy ball. We don't have a bossy ball, but this will work instead. So you just have them stand on it with both feet and balance there for as long as they can. Just like that. So the next exercise that we're going to do is just a stationary bike again, and you're going to have them do it with a little bit more resistance, not a lot, and just do it for about 15 minutes. The next exercise, you're going to have your patient stand on their affected leg, and they're just going to hop on one foot, and just do that. Repeat. Our next exercise we're going to have our patient do is the lateral lunges again. So like you get in the defensive position, and just shuffle side to side. Okay, so our next exercise is just a regular lunge. So have our patient stand like that, and then bring one foot forward, squat and then come back up center, and just repeat that on each leg. So our very last exercise for phase 4 is sport-specific activities. So this is of course going to depend on what activity or what sport your athlete is returning to. You're just going to want to ease them into it slow, make sure there's no pain while they're doing it, and they can gradually increase their sport-specific activities as they go.